We had a great meeting last night.
Yes, we did. We talked about citizens working with their legislators.
I think it's pretty important for every Wyoming citizen to understand their capital.
And where things are, for example, how to find out when and where committees are meeting.
And perhaps one of the most daunting tasks for any citizen is that testimony in a committee meeting.
Very daunting, but actually not all that hard. There's a well-known set of things to do. Be prepared. Have your facts and figures ready. If you want to, you can prepare a handout and show up, sign up to speak. You'll be called upon at some point, and keep it short and sweet. Don't repeat. That's important.
And we did a great job, I think, of breaking that down last night. And for me, as a former legislator, just explaining to citizens that sometimes you might get a legislator who isn't as warm to your ideas and how to handle that situation.
And 'cause sometimes you're a hostile witness.
That's right. And then also the idea of pulling a legislator out of the chamber to talk to them one-on-one.
Sometimes that's very, very useful, and we go in how to do it. It's not literally pulling them out, you know. Don't do that. But you fill out a small card, and the staff will hand it to the legislator, and the legislator will pick an opportune time and come out and talk to you.
Well, and just talking about those simple things like being brief, being polite, listening to the legislator, making sure that you get your points across. Those are all, I think, really important pieces of advice.
That, and I think maybe the most important one, is listening to their concerns. Why should I support this bill is what the legislator wants to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we also discussed last night that we know not every Wyoming citizen is going to get down here to Cheyenne during the session.
True, and the Legislative Services Office has a provision for that. You can monitor the audio in both the House and the Senate and in a couple of the committees. And we have information on where to find that. And we also talked about contacting your legislator.
Remotely, so if you're not in Cheyenne. And I loved the question, Charles, we got last night from someone who said, should I even bother contacting them?
And the answer to that is, if you don't, they're not going to pay attention to you.
Yeah.
If you do, they probably will.
Exactly, exactly. We wanted to break it down and make it simple so they understood how important it really is, no matter what you do, to contact your legislator.
Absolutely important, especially when you have an issue where you know what you're talking about and maybe somebody else doesn't know what they're talking about.
Right, exactly. You have that extra special piece of information. You may be an expert in some area on a bill. It's just so important to reach out.
Absolutely. And we talked about meeting with your legislator after session's over. Build a relationship with them. Yeah. Become their friend. Take them out to coffee. And you don't have to talk about specific issues, but get to know them, learn them. And the other thing we talked about after session is over is the interim committee meetings.
Yeah, we had some great questions and really, I think, explained that a lot of bills originate in that joint committee work.
And it's important to keep an eye on that. Fortunately, the LSO will put their schedule, their agendas, their minutes, and proposed bills up on the website, so you can track what they do.
And of course, you can always be assured that Wyoming Liberty Group is going to be watching out for all of those bills.
As much as we can. Unfortunately, we're in a target-rich environment. But I want you to watch the entire video of the meeting last night, and it's available on our website at wyliberty.org.